Hello, today I'm going to be talking about language experience approach as an ESL reading strategy. Language experience approach is used to teach students to learn to read through their own words. It is a way to get the students to generate stories. The topic would be a personal experience usually, but it could be a photo or a video as well. If you use a photo, the students can make up a story on it, and if you use a movie, the students could talk about what they observed. If working with a group, you need to find a common experience that they can all talk about. A teacher could create a common experience for these students by taking them on a field trip, having the class watch a movie together, or observe a photo together. Someone would be assigned to write down what the student says exactly. The person that is assigned to write it down is called a scribe, and it could be a teacher, a volunteer, aide, tutor, or a more knowledgeable student. You don't want to make any corrections. You need to put it down word for word what the student says. If you correct them, they may feel very frustrated. Also, if you were to add in vocabulary for them, when they reread it, it might not make any sense. They won't understand the new words that you added in. The person that wrote it down then rereads it to the student, and if the student is capable of reading, they'll read along as well. At this point, the response you get from them may be only one or two words or a very short sentence, and this is okay. When the student rereads what they said, they might be able to self-correct and realize what they said does not make sense. The students are basically creating a story together, and the reason that this works is because the student is making the story based on personal experience and opinions. So the story carries more meaning to them, as opposed to a teacher just making up a story and reading it. It helps them understand what is spoken can be put into print, and they understand the concepts of print, such as that print carries meaning. The teacher can take a piece of writing and emphasize the importance of sight words, reinforce sounds, punctuation, capitalization. This could be used as both a reading, writing, and oral language development strategy. It can be used with students who are past the pre-production level because it focuses on being able to produce simple sentences. It has been found to be more effective with kindergartners than with first or second graders. There is no specific content area this has to be used in, because you can relate any subject to certain personal experiences, photos, or movies. In order to do this activity, you need a scribe, which is the person recording what the student says, and you need some sort of way of recording what the student says. This could be a board or a piece of paper. There's a lot of books written and published that believe that the language experience approach works, because experiences form meaning to students. Studies have been conducted to test if the language experience approach works, and the answer is yes. All of the studies that I found show that comprehension for these students who used LEA versus those who did not was much higher in the post-test. Some of the researchers' names are Sharon Curran, Schall, and Miller. There are so many studies and books written on it. Now I'm going to show an example of how this strategy works. Say that yesterday I took my class on a field trip to the zoo. I asked them, where did we go? And the response I get is, go zoo. I'm going to write down exactly what they say, even though it's not correct. Then I could continue by asking them, how did we get there? And my student says, we ride train. Then let's say that we continue the conversation by saying, what did we see there? What animals did we see? And then I get into like, see giraffe, see monkey, see lion. Again, this is not correct, but this is exactly what you write word for word for these students. So then the next step in this would be going over this with the student reading it, and then we will work on correcting the errors. This works great for ELLs because it's not only developing their ability to read, but also aiding in their oral and written development.